T-side Anubis is already pretty easy, but with the right utility, you can be almost unstoppable. It's almost been a year since the last time I did a B-site guide, so let's go ahead and revisit it and see how everything's changed. But before we dive straight in, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code CSTactics on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. Alright, so just like you saw in the intro clip, let's get started with a basic smoke wall execute onto the B site. This is a super easy setup where most of the utility can be thrown from one single player. So let's get started with that. For the left side smoke, you're going to get stuck right here into this corner and do a simple jump throw up from this guy's missing head in between these two shields right here. And as you can see, that's going to bank straight down and smoke off the left side, denying visibility for both Palace and Long. For the right side smoke, it's in the exact same corner. You're just going to go up to the top right of this far left shield where it intersects with the side of the wall and do a basic jump throw. That's going to bounce off the top of the staircase and land onto this ledge, completely smoking off the right side where they can't peek you from Tetris or backside, as you can see right here. And again, from that exact same position, if you go from this guy's hands up in between these two shields and do a simple jump throw, that's going to molly off the backside of pillar here, completely denying that piece of cover. As your teammates are peeking, you can do a left and right click jump throw at this left shield to blind anyone on the left side of sight. That's going to completely roast anyone playing over here on jail, and it's not going to blind your teammates as they peek them. However, if your teammates know what they're doing, they can actually peek this left side and spot the CT before they spot them. So it may not even be worth throwing that flash. They can instead just check the angle like this, and if they don't spot anyone, they can bank a flash off this little pillar and peek towards the right. So altogether, a teammate could just drop you an extra smoke into this position, and you could smoke off the left side of sight, the right side, you could molly off back pillar, and if you want, you can throw a nice little flash to help your teammates peek on in. The only smoke that can't be thrown by one single player is the deep Ebox smoke, where you go on the left side of this wall and do a simple jump throw at this position. That's going to end up banking right off of the top here and landing inside Ebox, completely smoking it off and taking away that crossfire. That way, when you combine all of that together, there's really nothing they can do except try to play in front of it and get destroyed. But what if you want a little bit deeper control than just half of the site? You could replace the left side smoke with this long smoke from the same position, just at the very top of this line here, and do a simple left click throw. That's going to go all the way up, and it's just going to go a little bit deeper, smoking off Long specifically. And you could replace the right side smoke with the deeper Palace smoke by aiming right along this little wave pattern in the wall and doing yet again another left click throw. That's going to bank off the side here and completely smoke it off, as you can see. While this makes the site hit a little bit more challenging, it's going to give you way more space in the post plant, giving you an advantage. And instead of the flash we showed previously, I recommend going into this doorway right here and doing a simple left click along this little arrow in the wall. That's going to end up going up here, and it's going a little bit further up to where it's going to not only blind anyone behind here, but it's also going to catch people all the way back on Tetris since that's not smoked off. But that flash isn't going to do everything. Tetris is pretty difficult to handle, so let's talk about the best ways to deal with it. I recommend going right off of spawn, going into this corner, and doing a simple jump throw at this circle along the brick. That's going to go all the way up here, and it's another version of that deep Ebox smoke. Now, what we want to use this for is once it blooms in, you're actually going to move up canal towards Ebox, making sure they're not peeking you from it, but once you get there, you're going to move all the way into that left corner. Once that smoke begins to fade, you're going to hold for anyone inside of it, and you can also just peek sight for an unexpected angle. But more realistically, there's probably just not going to be anyone there peeking you, so you're just going to clear out different angles, and once your teammates are ready to hit sight, you're going to line up with the staircase, this dot, and do a run jump throw just before you hit the stairs. That's going to end up popping right up here and mollying out Tetris completely, allowing you and your teammates to absolutely slaughter this player. And hey, if for whatever reason you don't think they're Tetris, you can always molly Palace by just aiming on the backside of this little obelisk, and that is going to completely take away this angle and block them off from even walking through the door. Or if you'd rather not deal with any of those angles altogether, you can go into this corner and just off from the right of this little chip in the wall, you can do a simple jump throw with a smoke, and that's gonna end up going all the way up, and that's gonna be your classic right side smoke, so that you can push out and not have to worry about any of that. And hey, if your team can't throw the left side smoke for whatever reason, you can go in front of this basket right here and do a simple jump throw at the bottom left of this shield above the window. That's gonna go straight up, and believe it or not, that's gonna end up smoking off that left side cross, so you have a full smoke wall from this position over here in Canal. Also, big thanks to Pixel in my Discord for showing me both of these smokes. So now let's talk about rushing B. If you get stuck into this corner right off of spawn and do a simple jump throw at this dark spot in this gap in the wall, that's going to end up going straight through here and being the nice left side cross smoke to allow your teammates to run through and get onto site. For a couple of great flashes to pair up with that, I like to get along the side of this wall and do a simple jump throw at this guy's elbow. Those are going to go through that exact same gap and blind everyone on site, even if they're all the way back behind Tetris. From that same spot, you can do a simple jump throw where this lighter line intersects with the wall, and that's going to end up going all the way up and being another deep Ebox smoke. Now, this one does take a while to land, so your rushing teammates are going to beat this thing here. I believe the fastest way to throw this is by going into this corner, crouching, aiming right here, standing up, and doing a simple jump throw. That's going to gain a whole second to where it's going to be a little bit better to throw as part of a rush. So now let's go ahead and talk about splitting mid to B. If you go right out of spawn into this corner and do a simple jump throw at the top left of this portion of the building, well, that's going to go all the way up here and smoke off mid or house. You can then molly out the right side pocket here in front of the door by going right in front of this position and doing a simple left click throw at the top right of this little window. That should spread every single time to cover this back right position all the way up in front of the doors. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the fact that someone could be in front of that molly still in cover. So the best way to deal with that is to just lob a flash over behind this wall to where it's going to nuke anyone in this position, allowing your teammates to peek and get an easy kill. You can then have someone smoke off camera by going into this corner right here and aiming at this circular hieroglyph towards the bottom left of this little pillar. That's going to go all the way inside of camera and smoke it off, allowing you to move on through here and push in towards CT spawn or further on in towards B. And finally, for a perfect mid flash to get your teammates out towards that camera smoke, you're going to do a left click right here, and that's going to blind anyone hiding behind Nico, or even if they're up close on the far right. So yeah guys, that is my full guide to taking B site on Anubis in 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helps you out in your next CS2 comp or premiere match. If you want to support the channel, consider subscribing or leaving a comment letting me know what you want to see in the next video. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.